Hi, I'm Shane, and here on TikTok, I have just finished reading my high school diary entries 35 years to the day they were written. Friends, today will be the first in what will be a series of Where Are They Now and friend updates for the characters that you know from my journals. As I mentioned the other day, we are starting with my prom date, Jason. But before we do that, I wanted to tell you how I think we're going to make it through the summer and wrap up certain storylines and not leave so many loose ends hanging. Regular followers will probably recognize that that's not what my house looks like. We're out of town, traveling for a wedding, so the thing that I'm about to tell you about won't actually start until probably mid this coming week. What I'm thinking of doing is kind of a once a week wrap up of just the plot events of that week, like a this week in 1990, what went on in my life with my friends, because as many of you have pointed out, I graduated high school not knowing where I was going to college, so that hasn't wrapped itself up yet. There was the car accident. There's, more plot to that, obviously. There was court. Speaking of court, Jason, as you know, was charged with a misdemeanor. So there's that kind of plot line still hanging as well. And with that, let's get to the Jason update. Jason and I fell out of touch in the era of no cell phones and no social media, and didn't really know, I think, what was up with each other until Facebook came around and, oh, there's this person, oh, mutual friends, whatever. And then there he was. And I was like, oh, super cool. We are certainly Facebook friends and have kept up with each other since the advent of Facebook, only in that way. And one day, several months ago, we were exchanging Facebook messages about something unrelated to the TikTok. And I didn't know if he was aware of it. So I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing if you're on TikTok and your era is about to begin, if you want to follow. And he was like, I'm so on board. So he has been watching since kind of his entry into the story. So where is Jason now? He is back in Chicago. He is a Chicago firefighter and he does rope rescue as a hobby. He's on a team, and as I understand it, they go to rope rescue competitions. It seems like a batshit crazy, super high adrenaline hobby, but it looks amazing. It looks awesome. We have gotten more deeply engaged as he's watched the TikTok and having discussions about what happened to this person and all these oh, I remember that, I don't remember that. I didn't remember that he got arrested that day for going into the John Hughes movie wardrobe classroom at New Trier. But he did tell me a side story that was, kind of awful. In his racket bag, so he was at a tennis, he was there playing tennis, and in his bag with his racket, he had a bunch of cash that he was supposed to buy his friend group's Depeche Mode tickets with. If you'll remember, a couple days after that, Molly woke me up at 9 a.m. and was like, now that you're up, can you stay up and buy the tickets? Because I'm too tired. So he was the point man for his group getting Depeche Mode tickets. And by the time he got back to school after being arrested that day and got his racket bag, all the cash had been stolen. Some of you speculated that Jason was gay because of the hot and cold and the brooding and the internal angst. He's not. He's married. He has kids. The next part of the story I wasn't even aware of until I got married early. I got married in my early 20s, and Wendy and Molly threw me a shower, and at the shower, Molly stood up and made a huge confession. Remember how all through the prom week leading up to prom and kind of prom weekend and afterwards there was some weirdness, and I would say, all of a sudden Jason got really weird and he was really thinking, he got really internal and wouldn't say anything. And then there was that point that Molly came up to me out of nowhere and said, I don't like Jason, just so you know. I wish I could figure out how to embed a clip because I would have her on here, that character saying that right now. Came up to me out of the blue and was like, I don't like Jason, just so you know. At my bridal shower, she stood up in front of the group and confessed that during those very weeks, she and Jason had secretly been making out. So, mystery solved. I did not feel bad about it when she told me, and I don't feel bad about it now. I think it's, were I able to ever kind of put this on screen or on the stage, that would be a great subplot part of it because it caused so much confusion in me. And I was like, why is he acting like this? Well, because Molly's around the corner ready to roll. As I mentioned the other day, I reached out to Jason and said, is it cool if I show your face on TikTok? And he said yes. So here's our prom picture from my prom. I loved those gloves. I think I still have them. Here is pre-prom at my parents' house, pinning on the boutonniere. And then I've always loved this photo. It just makes me happy. I guess then Molly should probably be the next update. So we will have the Molly update coming this coming week, and then we will have the first of the This Week in 1990, which will probably end up covering like 10 days, and then we'll balance it out from there. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon.